Tonight on the podcast, we are talking about Jason Statham's new badass action flick, A Working Man. Directed by David Ayer. We're going to break this one down. Also in theaters this weekend, I went out and checked out Death of a Unicorn. We're going to be talking about Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega's new flick. Over on the TV side, Happy Face is now streaming on Paramount Plus. We're going to chat about that one. And of course, we got a lot of news of the week to get into. Marvel announced a little cast here for Doomsday. CinemaCon is going on. There's a lot to get into. So strap on in. It's time for a new Am I on the Air? Well, all right. What is going down, everybody? Welcome back to another brand new edition of Am I on the Air? My name is DONMEGA, and I'm your host. I'm so happy that you're here to join me once again to get caught up with all the latest and the greatest when it comes to entertainment news, television, movies, non-spoiler reviews. You come right here on a week-by-week basis to get it all broken down for you. It's season 29, episode 28, and tonight's show is titled Payback Is A Beast. We'll be breaking down the news from March the 26th through today, April the 1st. So hope you all are ready. Happy April. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Got a couple movies to talk about, a couple TV shows to talk about, and then, of course, we'll get into the news of the week. So let's jump on in. I'm going to start with the new #1 movie in the United States right now. Directed by David Ayer, written by Sylvester Stallone, and starring Jason Statham in a new action thriller crime movie, A Working Man. Man, this one here, Levon Cade left behind a decorated military career in the Black Ops to live a simple life, working construction. He's a simple man. He's a working man. Well, when his boss's daughter, who is like family to him, is taken by human traffickers, his search to bring her home uncovers a world of corruption far greater than he ever could have imagined. So this one here, like I said, Jason Statham, David Harbour is in this, Michael Pena, um, Jason Fleming, and a bunch of other people that you won't recognize. But this one here is the next in line of Jason Statham's badass, just kind of old school action flicks. He came out with a movie last year with David Ayer, The Beekeeper, and man, on surface, Beekeeper should not have worked. It sounded stupid. It looked kind of stupid. It was kind of like, we'll go check it out in the theater because there's nothing else to see. And The Beekeeper was pretty damn badass. And they got along famously. David Ayer and Jason Statham loved working together on that movie. They're working together now on a sequel to that movie. And they decided to make another film together, and that's this one here, A Working Man, based on a script written by Sylvester Stallone, which I find fantastic right there. Um, Listen, this movie plays like a 90s old school action flick, straight up. An old school Jean-Claude Van Damme, an old school Steven Seagal, just those classic 90s movies. A Stallone movie, an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This is classic that, right? He's just a working man. He's just a guy that just wants to lay low. He doesn't like the trouble. But you went and you messed up and you kidnapped somebody that he loves. And now it is on like Donkey Kong. And of course, he's going to go batshit crazy. He's going to whoop some ass. He's going to kill a lot of people. And that's a working man, straight up. And it works. It works on every level. I had a blast with this movie. Again, if you shut your mind off and you say, hey, I just want to go watch a mindless action flick with a fun lead and a decent story, that's this movie through and through. It's directed great by David Ayer. I love Jason Statham in these kind of roles. And it's just, the villains are like cheesy, but it works, man. It just works. It's that formula that I grew up on, and it did its thing for me. And at the end of the day, I would recommend that you go check out A Working Man in theaters right now and support it because it was a ton of fun. And I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. All right. My next movie, man, I was excited over the weekend. We had two big releases. I went back to the theater and checked out Death of a Unicorn. This one here starring Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Will Poulter is in this, Richard E. Grant, Tia Leone. Really, really good cast. A father and daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn while en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous properties. So, yes, pretty straightforward premise. Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, father daughter couple, they are driving to his boss's house out in the wilderness and they hit what they think is like a deer. And they find out it's a unicorn. And we're kind of just, I don't know how much more I want to really give you from that premise because this is non spoiler. But let's just say there's some other unicorns that are not happy with what happens, and this movie goes off. It's a comedy, it's a fantasy, it's a horror. This is an A24 flick. Anthony Carrigan's in this as well too. He was fantastic in this as he always is. Um, Here's what I'm gonna say: the movie is not as good as I had hoped. I saw the trailer for this months ago and got really, really excited for this film. Very excited. So I went in with super high expectations. It did not hit that, but it's still a really solid movie. It was still really good. The cast is great. Will Poulter is awesome. You gotta love Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. I love them in anything that they do. And this movie starts off kind of silly and fun, and then turns into this straight up horror movie that was a blast to watch. It gets gorier than I thought it would, and it's got a really fun ending. So overall, the movie works. It just doesn't work as amazing as I really hoped it to be. But I think it's a good watch, and I think it's something that you should definitely check out. So I would give Death of a Unicorn 3 out of 5 stars. All right, switching gears on over to the TV side, the new show that I checked out is Happy Face. This is a true story. This is the story of Melissa Reed, daughter of Keith Jesperson, aka the Happy Face Killer. After decades of no contact, Keith forces his way back into his daughter's life, and Melissa must find out if an innocent man is going to be put to death for a crime her father committed. In the process, she must face a reckoning of her own identity. So this one here stars Annalay Ashford and Dennis Quaid. And this is, like I said, based on a true story of the Happy Face Killer who went to prison for being a serial killer, killing, I believe, 9 or 10 people. And they find out he admits to another murder that he was not on the record for. And they find out that the murder that he's saying he did, someone else went to jail for it. And now it's trying to go into this and see can they, help out this innocent man before he's put to death because he got the death penalty for this crime that the Happy Face Killer committed and he ended up going to jail for. So far, this is pretty interesting. I watched the first 2 episodes, and there's only 3 out so far. This is a weekly rollout on Paramount Plus, but it's a decent watch. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but Annalay Ashford is fantastic, and Dennis Quaid's always fantastic in what he does. So I love true story kind of stuff, and this one definitely fits that mold. So I'm excited about it, and definitely give a thumbs up to this one. Definitely check it out. And I, of course, got to shout out that Reacher season 3 is done. The finale happened, and boy, did this show stick the landing. This was a fantastic season. What a final fight between Reacher and Paulie. Oh man, we waited for it all season, and it did not disappoint. I loved the season so much. And if you're somebody that is behind, get on it. If you're somebody that was waiting for all the episodes to drop so you could binge it, get on it. They're all available now. This season's fantastic. Go check out Reacher. And a couple other things I just want to shout out real fast, man, because there's some good shit on TV right now. You should be watching The Studio. I know I talked about it on last week's show, but it bears mentioning again because I watched tonight's new episode and oh my God, It's fantastic. It's so good. This new episode was so good. This is one of the best shows on TV right now with Seth Rogen. Check out the studio over on Apple TV Plus. And boy, if you're not watching The Righteous Gemstones, you are missing out as well. This show is so freaking funny. And this episode that just aired Sunday, holy shit, it was hilarious. I was dying, man. It was so damn funny. So check out The Righteous Gemstones. Season 4 is going on right now. Episode 4 is the newest one that just dropped, and it was great. And I finished Paradise. Paradise was great as well. Hell of a finale. Can't wait for season 2. If you haven't seen this one, definitely check this one out on Hulu as well. Paradise, baby. All right, that's what I got. So, A Working Man now in theaters, 4 out of 5 stars. Death of a Unicorn now in theaters, 3 out of 5 stars. And check out Happy Face over on Paramount Plus. All right, guys, let's talk box office. Coming in at number 10, it's Novocaine. Number 9, Mickey 17. Number 8, Black Bag. Number 7, Captain America Brave New World. Number 6, Princess Mononoke, the 4K restoration. Number 5, Death of a Unicorn. Number 4, another debut, Woman in the Yard. Number 3, The Chosen, Last Supper. Number 2 was Snow White, only held number 1 for 1 week and then fell to number 2. And number 1, A Working Man. So yes, Jason Statham with a number 1 film, 15.5 million for A Working Man to hit that number 1 spot. So good stuff there. All right, that's the box office. Let's switch gears and get into our news of the week. And boy, did the news of the week kick off in a major way, because we dropped last week's episode, and the very next morning, Marvel said, screw your episode, because we're going to drop the cast of Avengers Doomsday. That's right. We're going to do a live stream, and we're going to announce all the cast members for Avengers Doomsday, which comes out next year. And I was like, holy shit, here we go. Let's check this out. They did it in the weirdest way possible, of course, because it was a live stream where they put down a director's chair with an actor's name on it. The problem with that, I mean, it's a decent concept, but the problem with that was it took 12 minutes in between chairs. So they put a chair down and the stream just sat on that chair for 12 minutes. Then it scrolled over to another chair with another actor's name and it sat there for 12 minutes. It was 27 chairs, I believe, and it was a 5.5 hour live stream. So pretty insane. But it worked for Marvel because everyone for 5.5 hours was watching chairs and talking about this, and it was one of the biggest live streams of all time. Over 10 million people watched. So congratulations, Marvel. As stupid as it was, it actually worked. But man, we got some big announcements here. So let's go into it, of who was announced for Avengers Doomsday. So up first was Chris Hemsworth, of course, returning as Thor. Anthony Mackie coming back as Sam Wilson, aka Captain America. Vanessa Kirby returning as Susan Storm, which we'll see her make her debut this summer in Fantastic Four. Paul Rudd was announced as Ant-Man returning. Florence Pugh returning as Yelena Belova, as we'll see her next in Thunderbolts. Wyatt Russell also returning from Thunderbolts as John Walker. Tenoch Ureta Mejia is returning as Namor. Of course, we saw Namor in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He was the main villain in that movie. We haven't seen him since. So pretty interesting to see him return here. I was so happy about this next name, Simu Liu. That's right, Shang-Chi himself is returning for Avengers Doomsday. Very happy to see this one here. Sebastian Stan, of course, returning from Thunderbolts as Bucky Barnes. Of course, the Winter Soldier. Letitia Wright is returning as Shuri, aka the Black Panther. So good to see her back. Eben Moss Baccarat, of course, returning as Ben Grimm, aka the Thing from Fantastic Four. So obviously your whole Fantastic Four cast is returning here. We get a little X-Men love with Kelsey Grammer returning as Dr. Hank McCoy, aka Beast, which of course we saw him in the post-credit scene of the Marvels. So we're going to get a little bit more of that. Louis Pullman returning from Thunderbolts as Sentry. We got Danny Ramirez returning as Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon from the last Captain America Brave New World movie that came out. Joseph Quinn returning as Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four. David Harbour returning from Thunderbolts as Red Guardian. Winston Duke returning as M'Baku. It's always great to see M'Baku. I love Winston Duke, and I love this character, so great to see him returning in Doomsday. Hannah John Kamen is returning as Ghost from Thunderbolts as well. Tom Hiddleston is back. That's right. That means Loki is returning for Doomsday. And then here's where it gets interesting. Patrick Stewart returning as Charles Xavier, Professor X. Ian McKellen back as Magneto. Alan Cumming back as Nightcrawler. Rebecca Romaine back as Mystique. James Marsden back as Cyclops. And here we go. Channing Tatum back as Gambit. Holla, holla. Very, very cool to see Channing Tatum get a shot back as Gambit. I was really expecting to see Deadpool and Wolverine back after this, but no such luck. But we do get Channing Tatum's Gambit, and we'll get to see him mix it up with the X-Men, which is pretty cool. Pedro Pascal, of course, returning as Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four. And, of course, lastly, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. So that's your Doomsday cast as it was announced. Very interesting. A lot of really good names, a lot of big names, a lot of intermediate names. Obviously, your core. Great to see Chris Hemsworth back. I'm so happy that Thor is there. Um, Great to see that the Fantastic Four is involved. Anthony Mackie, of course, coming off his solo movie. But what are the X-Men doing? That's pretty fucking big, man. That's crazy to see what are they going to be doing in this new movie here. But that also makes you wonder, what are the people that we didn't get announced, right? There was a lot of people that were missing in that announcement. Of course, you have Tom Holland, Spider-Man, right? Where is Spider-Man? Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Where's Doctor Strange? Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, right? We thought Star-Lord was returning. Where is Star-Lord at? None of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, right? Where is Hulk? Where's Mark Ruffalo? Where's Hulk? Where's Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye? So we have original Avengers that are out there and they're not in this movie. Brie Larson, no Captain Marvel announced. Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk. Iman Vellani for Miss Marvel. Kate Bishop. Where is, Haley Steinfeld?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What if you could go back in time and rewatch your favorite movies with fresh eyes?
Well, that's exactly what we do on the Regular Guy Movie Show. I'm Brian.
I'm Seth.
And I'm Justin.
Each episode, we dig into a different movie. We break down what holds up, what doesn't, and why we loved it in the first place.
It's like hanging out with your buddies and debating movies with less burping and farting.
So if you're a fan of nostalgia with a side of sarcasm,
come hang with us.
The Regular Guy Movie Show, talking flicks. Here we go!
The Regular Guy Movie Show. Press play on your childhood favorites.
It's very interesting, man. Where are these people? Where's Chris Evans? Where's Haley Atwell? Where's Tessa Thompson? Where's Paul Bettany? I mean, there's a lot of names that did not get announced. Now, big rumor has it that the film is in early production and they are still finalizing deals with a lot of these other stars, so they couldn't announce the entire cast. Plus, it's Marvel, and Marvel likes to have surprises, so maybe more people will pop up that they're just waiting to surprise us with when we go watch the movie. I also think it's kind of like an Infinity War and Endgame situation where Infinity War had half the roster, and then, we know what happened to them. And in part 2, in Endgame, we had the other half of the roster. So it wasn't this abundance of people having to fight with each other or people fighting for screen time, people missing. It was half in this movie, half in this movie. And I do feel that a lot of these stars that are missing from Doomsday are definitely going to be in Avengers Secret Wars, which comes out a year after. They're filming these movies back to back, and I think we're definitely getting Doctor Strange and we're getting Spider-Man. I think there's a lot of what we're going to get. I do think we're going to get Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool. I think we're going to get Wolverine. I just think a lot of people are going to be in Secret Wars, and Doomsday is just the setup for that, so we're getting the other half of the roster. So, could be wrong. They also have teased that there's more to come, so we will definitely keep you posted as always. All right, Zendaya is set to star as Ronnie Spector in A24's Be My Baby. Moonlight director Barry Jenkins is set to direct the film. Um, Renee Zellweger is joining Only Murders in the Building for season 5. We have the trailer for Salvable, which is Shia LaBeouf and Toby Kebbell's new boxing movie. A live-action Scooby-Doo show has been ordered over at Netflix. We have the first trailer for Rust. This is the movie with Alec Baldwin, the Western that they were filming when the tragic set shooting happened. So you can check out that trailer if you're interested. Gemma Arterton is set to lead a new spy show called Secret Service. We have the trailer for Itoli, which is the Marvelous Miss Maisel's new creation over on Prime Video. Sources, going back to the Doomsday, because I got to reiterate this again. Sources say that even with 26 actors announced, Marvel isn't done revealing the entire cast of Avengers Doomsday, although when and how another unveiling would occur was unclear. So there you go on that. And then Robert Downey Jr. tweeted out, or actually, I think he was on Threads, but he said, that's what you call a deep bench of talent. Actually, it's more like a row, but an extra long one. That must be it, right? And then Marvel Studios replied and said, there's always room for more. Oh, those bastards, those bastards. They're teasing us, man. There's always room for more. So there you go. Paramount Plus has picked up the documentary The Children of October 7, which features Montana Tucker in conversation with Israeli children directly impacted by the Hamas attacks on southern Israel on October 7, 2023. Watson has been renewed for a second season over at CBS. After Midnight is ending after 2 seasons on CBS. The Connors has enlisted Jane Lynch as a final season role. CBS is reportedly developing a Yellowstone spinoff that would star Luke Grimes, reprising his role as Case Dutton. Vin Diesel is set to direct a new Fast and Furious short, which will set up the final movie. So they've done this in the past. He filmed a little short before Fast and Furious 4. And now supposedly he's doing it again to bridge the two movies together, which is kind of weird because Fast 10 ended on such a cliffhanger. Like, why would it need a little mini movie to set this up for the sequel? I kind of just expect that the second film will just pick up where we left off, but I guess we'll see how that plays out. Jonathan Majors is set to work his way through a gang stronghold in a new action movie called True Threat. Mel Gibson's The Resurrection of Christ is confirmed to be filming in Rome later this summer. What do we got here? Citadel. I liked the show Citadel on Prime Video. I didn't love it, but I did like it, and I've been waiting for season 2. Well, season 2 has been put on hold. That's right, it's been pushed back. The expensive series has a history of ballooning budgets and creative strife, but it did get a second season order, but now that season is in flux as it has been pushed, and there were also several spin-offs in the works, and all the spin-offs are currently on hold as well. This could also be due to Joe and Anthony Russo making the Avengers movies, and they might be too busy to be involved with the TV show that they were shepherding. So we'll keep you posted on this, but for now, Citadel is on hold. Filming has officially wrapped on Edgar Wright's adaptation of The Running Man, starring Glenn Powell, Katie O'Brien, Coleman Domingo, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace, Jamie Lawson, Amelia Jones, and Michael Cera. The movie will hit theaters on November 7th. Ryan Coogler says fans won't have to wait long for Black Panther 3. He also adds that Denzel Washington's deal isn't finalized yet, but as long as he's interested, it's gonna happen. That's what he says, so very cool there. Common Side Effects has been renewed for season 2 over on Adult Swim. The live-action Legend of Zelda movie will officially release in theaters on March 26, 2027. We have a new Century special teaser for Thunderbolts, so check that out. Again, the movie hits theaters on May 2nd. We have the first poster for Downton Abbey, the grand finale, which hits theaters on September 12th. We have a trailer for Fight or Flight. This is Josh Hartnett's new action movie where he gets on a plane of assassins. This hits theaters on May 9th. It looks like a lot of fun. We also have the trailer for One Battle After Another. This is Leonardo DiCaprio's new movie for his Paul Thomas Anderson film that hits theaters on September 26th. We have some character posters for How to Train Your How to Train Your Dragon? How to Train Your Dragon. And the live action adventure again is going to hit theaters on June 13th. We have the first poster for I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is theaters on July 18th. We got an article up talking about supposedly who is playing Jor-El in the new Superman movie. I won't say who it is. A lot of people were freaking out because it is a spoiler. They were trying to keep it a surprise, but they did some test screenings, and of course, everybody that saw the test screenings spoiled it. So I do have an article up if you would like to find out who it is. If not, keep on trucking. Brad Pitt is set to reportedly star in David Fincher's new upcoming secret Netflix movie, so we'll see what happens there. Paradise Season 2 is now filming, so that's very cool there. Like I said, Paradise Season 1, I just finished it, and it was fantastic. Shailene Woodley has also signed on for Season 2 of Paradise. Regé-Jean Page and Halle Berry are set to lead Universal's upcoming rom-com, Italiana. We have an upcoming release date for The Better Sister, which is starring Jessica Biel and Elizabeth Banks. This is coming to Prime Video on May 29th. Oscar Isaac is set to play the greatest con man alive in an upcoming Apple TV Plus show called Stowaway. Mikey Madison has supposedly been ordered or offered a lead role in the upcoming Resident Evil reboot movie, so we'll keep you posted on that. She was also very, very good on this last episode of SNL, so great. I'm very happy for Mikey Madison. We got an article up with why Chris Pratt's Star-Lord might not appear in Avengers Doomsday. Supposedly it's because of a couple pre-established roles that he is currently filming, and they don't know if they can actually get him in time to do Doomsday. So we'll see. They think if they can squeeze him in, they will, but nothing is promised based on his schedule right now. Buffy the Vampire Slayer revival. We have the first details on some new characters revealed. David Ayer says he still hopes to get that Ayer cut of his Suicide Squad up. He says, he's talked to James Gunn. James Gunn's trying to launch his new DC universe. He says, give it some time, give it some patience, and hopefully he'll get it out. A Different World sequel series has been given a pilot order over on Netflix. Mary Steenburgen will join her real-life husband, Ted Danson, in Season 2 of Netflix's A Man on the Inside. We found out that Final Destination Bloodlines trailer has become the second most watched horror trailer ever. Ever. So very cool there, man. Love Final Destination. Jasmine Cephas Jones has joined the cast of HBO's Green Lantern series Lanterns. Disney is closing in. Well, at the time, Disney was closing in on a deal for Martin Scorsese's Hawaiian set crime drama starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Emily Blunt, and The Rock. And a couple days after this announcement, it was official. Disney and 20th Century have signed on. They are agreeing to make the movie, and they're going to do it. So very happy to see this one come to fruition for sure. Eric Kripke, showrunner of Gen V and The Boys, says that the first trailer and release date announcement for Gen V Season 2 is coming soon. He says, I think this season is better than Season 1, and it will be worth the wait. So very, very cool there. Let's see here. We got some first look at some new posters because of CinemaCon. Wicked for Good, which hits theaters on November 21st. So good little poster there. First little teaser poster for Nobody 2, which is theaters on August 15th. We have the official teaser for the new series Overcompensating, which streams on Prime Video starting May 15th. We got a new poster for You, which of course hits Netflix on April 24th for the final season of You. We got our first look at Madeline Petch in The Strangers Chapter 2, which is theaters on September 26th. Let's see here. The sinister team of Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill are tackling an adaptation of Road of Bones, a horror novel by best-selling author Christopher Golden. Sony Pictures and Screen Gems are creating it as well with them. So very cool there for an adaptation of Road of Bones. Tom Segura's twisted Netflix comedy series Bad Thoughts has dropped its first trailer, and it's going to come out in May. Snow White is going to lose Disney over $115 million. Ouch. Jason Momoa confirms he is returning for Dune 3, so there you go there. He also said, if you didn't read the books, it's not my fault. So he said, don't get mad at his announcement. Kendrick Lamar, along with South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they did a movie together, but it has been pushed. That's right. It's going to head to spring 2026, as they are not done making that one yet. Congratulations to Coyote versus Acme. This was the movie that stars John Cena and Will Forte, and it got scrapped by Warner Brothers. They were trying to write it off for tax purposes. It's been sitting in limbo for a while, and now Cashapp Entertainment, I think we talked about this on last week's episode, that they were in negotiations, and now it's official. Cashapp Entertainment has made it official by acquiring the worldwide rights to Coyote versus Acme, and will release it sometime next year in 2026. We have our official title for the new Spider-Man movie. The next one with Tom Holland, Spider-Man 4 technically, is called Spider-Man Brand New Day. So there you go. Far From Home, Homecoming, No Way Home. The home saga is over. Now we got a brand new day. We got a fresh start, a new font, and we're ready to go. This hits theaters July 31st, 2026. So just a couple months after Avengers Doomsday. So some reports are saying that this movie takes place at the same time, and that might be why he's not in Doomsday. So there you go. You save it up for Secret Wars. But I'm very happy to get some confirmation on what's going on with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man Brand New Day, July 31st, 2026. Keeping up with Spider-Man, Sony shared that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which we've been waiting forever for, is going to make you wait even longer, as the movie is not going to release till June 4th, 2027. Jesus. So insane, man. The movie ended on a cliffhanger like 3 years ago, and now we got to wait another 3 years to get it. That's a big gap, man. 5 to 6 years for a sequel is insane, but hopefully they do knock it out the park when it comes, man. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, June 4th, 2027. 7 MCU projects are set to hit release in 2026. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, The Punisher Special Presentation, The Vision Show on Disney Plus, with Paul Bettany, X-Men 97 Season 2, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. All right, guys, another announcement from CinemaCon is the Beatles movie, but it's not any old Beatles movie. A 4-film cinematic event that is directed by Sam Mendes. Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. This is going to, all 4 movies. Yes, a 4-film event, 1 film for each Beatle, is going to hit theaters on April of 2028. So it's still very far away, but April 2028, they're filming all these back to back, and then they're all 4 going to release in the same month of April 2028. It is a 4-film cinematic event. They're calling it the first ever theatrical binge experience. There you go. I hate the Beatles, so I probably won't even watch this, but it's very cool of a concept, that's for sure. Rick and Morty Season 8 will debut on May 25th over on Adult Swim. Chainsaw Man, the movie, is releasing exclusively in theaters on October 29th. We have your first look at Jason Momoa in Chief of War, which premieres August 1st on Apple TV+. The 6-episode titles of Black Mirror Season 7 have been revealed. We got a little 2-minute video up that go through all the titles and show a little preview for each episode. It premieres April 10th over on Netflix. House of the Dragon Season 3 is now filming. We have the first poster for Bring Her Back, and we also have the new trailer that just dropped today for it. This is from Danny and Michael Filupa. They are the directors of Talk to Me, and which was super freaky. This trailer's pretty freaky. So yeah, man, Bring Her Back. It hits theaters in May 30th. Congratulations to Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. It's been renewed for Season 2. Sabrina Carpenter has met with Disney for the live-action remake of Tangled. Ooh, we get Sabrina Carpenter there. We'll see. Milo Ventimiglia and Severance star join Harlan Coben's show, I Will Find You. Zack Snyder's set to direct a new UFC movie called Brawler, so that'd be pretty cool. A documentary series covering the legal drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and their dueling narratives has riveted Hollywood. is going to be out on Discovery Plus. Big breaking news yesterday that Lanterns, the new Green Lantern show that's filming for Max and HBO, the upcoming DC Studio series, has cast Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. That's right. Fillion is set to play Gardner this summer in the Superman movie, so he'll be reprising his role in the upcoming HBO series. So this is kind of a no-brainer. It wouldn't have made even sense for Nathan Fillion to not show up on this show, because if Guy Gardner is in this universe already, then why would you do a show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and not have them talk to Guy Gardner, right? If there's like 3 Green Lanterns running around. So this made a lot of sense, and I'm glad to see it. House of the Dragon has started filming season 3, and Tom Flanagan is joined as Sir Roderick Dustin and Dan Fogler as Sir Torhin Manderley. Let's see here. We got confirmation that Jake Kasdan will be returning to direct Jumanji 3, with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and Jack Black all returning. This is going to hit theaters next year on December 11th, 2026. Sydney Sweeney is in final talks to star in Legendary's live-action Gundam movie. That's pretty cool there. Now You See Me 3 has officially been titled Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and it's going to be hitting theaters on November 14th. I'm very happy for this news. The young Dexter Morgan is going to continue to develop into the serial killer we all know and love, as Paramount Plus with Showtime has renewed Dexter Original Sin for a second season. I'm a big Dexter fan. I went into Original Sin kind of with tepid expectations, and I ended up loving it. I thought Original Sin was fantastic. It's a great prequel series. All the actors are amazing in their roles, and I've been having fingers crossed here ever since the finale that we would get more, and I'm so happy to see that it has been renewed for a second season. Much congratulations. Brand new that just came out today, the new Karate Kid Legacy trailer. That's right, Karate Kid Legends is hitting theaters this May, and we got the new trailer for it, which looks awesome. So very cool there. In some very sad news, this broke right before I started recording. Val Kilmer has passed away. That's right, Val Kilmer, who of course played Batman in Batman Forever. He was Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors. He starred in a lot of 80s favorites, Tombstone and The Saint. I mean, so many movies. He was 65 years old. We know he had a lot of trouble, right? We saw how he was in Top Gun Maverick. And he's had a lot of struggles. And unfortunately, he passed today. So our thoughts and prayers are out to his friends and family. All right, we have the new trailer for Hurry Up Tomorrow, starring The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan. This hits theaters on May 16th. Some John Wick news. Lionsgate shared at CinemaCon that they're going to do an animated prequel for John Wick. This film will center on John completing the impossible task that he did to retire. So very cool there. Let's see here. Donnie Yen. We heard this rumored years ago after John Wick 4 came out, and now it's official. Donnie Yen is set to star in and direct the John Wick spinoff film that is centered on his character, Kane. So I love it. Batman Part 2 writer Mattson Tomlin is also attached to write the film. So big, big news there. And then, of course, the biggest news of it all, John Wick 5 is officially in development. That's right, with the confirmation that Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski, the director, are set to return. So yes, we are finally getting John Wick 5. We have the official logo reveal for the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, which is going to hit theaters on November 20th of 2026. We have the first little teaser for Tires Season 2 coming to Netflix on June 5th. We have the new poster for Tom Hiddleston, his movie The Life of Chuck, directed by Mike Flanagan. Michael Jackson fans are fearing that the biopic movie will be delayed. The Michael movie was supposed to come out this year, but of course at CinemaCon, Sony did not talk about it. So yeah, very, very quiet on the front of Michael. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with this one, and it might mean that the movie is being delayed. So we'll keep you posted there. The Long Walk gets a release date for the Stephen King movie starring Mark Hamill. It comes out on September 12th. Also, the studio behind Now You See Me has announced that they're going to do a fourth movie. So even though the third just got done and we don't even know if it'll do good or not, they want to already move forward on a fourth. Hulu has officially greenlit The Testaments, which is the Handmaid's Tale sequel show. Mickey 17 is hitting digital on April 8th. The new Resident Evil movie, we got some plot details, and it will be heavily inspired by the games. So check that out if you're interested. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting a follow up. That's right. A follow up is in the works with Brad Pitt returning and David Fincher stepping in to direct based on a script that Quentin Tarantino wrote. So, very, very cool news right there. And they're also talking to Leo to come in with maybe more of a cameo role, but this one will focus on Brad Pitt's character. Mortal Kombat 2 is confirmed to release this year. I know there's been a lot of speculation. Would it come out this year or not? It's going to come out in October. So there you go. There's your confirmation on Mortal Kombat 2. Luca Curagino is confirmed also that he's doing the American Psycho reboot and that he's in conversations with exciting performers to play the leads right now. We had heard the rumor a while ago that Austin Butler was going to take over the Christian Bale role. So we'll see if that ends up coming to fruition. And on that note, my friends, that's what we got. I know we went a little over a half hour here tonight, but there was a lot of news to get into, a lot of good stuff there. But we got you caught up with everything up to this point. So, of course, let's have an amazing week. In theaters, Minecraft comes out this weekend. I think I'll be taking my daughter to see that one. So we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, let's do some shout outs. AmIOnTheAir.com is the official webpage. Make sure you're bookmarking and get to everything right off there. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AmIOnTheAir. Give us a follow on X at AmIOnTheAir or myself directly at DXDonMega. Same handles over on Threads, Blue Sky. Make sure you search Am I on the Air on all the social medias, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. You could just search Am I on the Air and give us a follow. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed of your choice. We're always streaming on Apple Podcast or Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora. We're on everything. So make sure you subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And thank you to our great affiliates at Red Dragons Radio and Pop Culture Pros. Make sure you follow on X at Red Dragons Radio, all one word, and at popculture_pros. That'll do it for me for this April the 1st. I hope you all have an amazing week. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time, y'all. Peace.
Red Dragon!